Here we have the 15-minute price chart for GameStop Corporation, stock ticker GME. Markets are closed today, so we're not seeing any share price action today. But this does give us kind of an opportunity to prepare for tomorrow because there are some events tomorrow which could kind of stoke volatility and create some outsized price movements in potentially both directions. If we're gonna be looking at potential for large moves, there's some kind of market circumstances tomorrow that could fuel that. I have not seen anybody else, any of the other videos pointing to these factors, but specifically, I would point to the fact that this is a holiday thinned trading week. When the markets are closed today, it's 4th of July. And especially when this occurs on a Thursday, you see many people pulling orders out of the market, and those orders don't come back into the market until the following week. Okay, so why is that significant? It's significant because you've got holiday thinned trading conditions. You've got lower liquidity levels in the market. And essentially, this makes it much easier to push around market prices. It doesn't take as much money to move share prices as it does normally. So this is definitely not a normal trading week. And I do think that it's possible that many people are going to be ignoring this factor and probably not even watching the market because they think of that, that we're on a holiday or that these events aren't significant or something. But it has to be remembered, like this creates the potential for outsized price moves. It's a literal factor that does suggest that further moves could be seen here. Currently, the momentum here is positive. We're seeing a positive reading in the relative strength index, which does suggest that market momentum is positive. If you look at the prior sort of trend lines that we drew here, these were moving in the positive direction. We were saying here that we need to hold above this exponential moving average cluster. If we break below there, it would be possible to see declines lower, but this did not happen. We saw a break above, a much stronger break above the exponential moving average cluster. So overall, if you're going to take all of these, events in combination with one another, the outlook here is bullish. We did fill this price gap, as I was explaining. We probably would. You really need to do that if you see a price gap to the downside. So a lot of this sort of set the stock in motion, for an upside break here. And we are seeing all of these factors move in combination with one another. We did not see this break lower to the downside. So that is a positive that has to continue to be noted. We saw a little bit of a downside break here in the moving average cluster, but given the size of the recovery and the break back above these levels, I would consider this to be a false break to the downside. So currently, what we have to be looking at, is the potential zones of resistance that could be unfolding here near term. It is becoming much more possible for markets to overcome these resistance levels, especially right now. Like if there's going to be a major move, this Friday trading session would be a scenario where you could see something like that. I'm not saying that it will happen or won't happen. I'm just saying, that the environment is kind of in place for it to happen if the market is ready to push prices higher. So at the moment, what we really have to be watching for, is the next potential resistance zone. What could halt prices from here? As we can see, we did see a bit of a price movement to the downside as we reached the 61.8% Fibonacci retracement of this most recent declining move. As things currently stand, I am still defining this current downside move as the dominant price move, as the most influential trend that's currently influencing GameStop share prices. So we're getting to get this move. What we're doing is we're looking at the prior highs, which came in at 26.69, and then the lows, which posted at this would be 22.32. That would be the low from July 1st. So currently we have moved, and these are all bullish factors here. We have moved through the 23.6% fib retracement, the 38.2% fib retracement, and we have even closed above the 50% retracement of this move. So what does this mean? This means that we have a declining move here, but we've recovered more than half of that and we've reached those levels on a closing basis. So that's much better than just seeing a spike high, like a quick high or something like that. If you see these price moves occur on a closing basis, that's much more decisive. And it's just much stronger, and it does strengthen the positive outlook here going forward. So overall, the momentum here does suggest that we're on, a pretty strong footing into this Friday trading session. So, this is where the stock wants to be at this point. We're trading we would probably like to be above 25 just for kind of psychological reasons. But we're relatively close to that point. It wouldn't take much of a move higher. I mean, we're talking, less than 75 cents here to get back above the $25 mark. So overall, we're on a strong footing here. Keep in mind that there will be holiday thin trading conditions, and then you have to add to this the fact that this non-farm payrolls report is coming out before the market opens on Friday. So the next real piece of market information that you're going to hear, unless Mr. Roaring Kitty decides to, post some other, weird meme or whatever, the next piece of market moving information that what we're going to be receiving is going to be this payrolls number. And it's significant because it kind of sets the trading tone for the day. Whether or not we're likely to see the S&P 500 move higher, the NASDAQ move higher during the Friday trading session is likely to be determined by, the outcome of this non-farm payrolls report. So normally I would not be pointing to national economic data in a context like this. We're talking about GameStop here. This is a meme stock, normally I wouldn't be talking about this, but it is significant because we're coming off of a holiday trading period. There's thin liquidity in the market. There are not many open orders in the market, so it's easy to push prices around. And then in addition to that, you've got this, this non-farm payrolls number, this economic piece of information, this data release that really could set the trading tone for the entire trading day. So will things be positive or negative? A lot of it could be determined by the tone that is set with that release. And it comes just before the market opens. It gets released at 8:30 in the morning, Eastern time, and then markets open an hour later. So, the market has a little bit of time to kind of like look at the report and determine whether or not it's positive and all that. And then markets open an hour after that. So you can kind of imagine how this is most likely to influence prices. Currently, the real level that I'm watching here does come in. It's very close to this $25 level. The 618 retracement comes in at $25.01. So this is really the line in the sand here, people. If we can break above this $25 level, then at the very least, we should be retesting these prior highs from 2669 that were posted on June 27th. So here's the current market analysis for GameStop Corporation, stock ticker GME.